Let's finish reading this book real quick. In the last video, we were talking about observance of the law and pose as a friend and work as a spy. Get your pen, get your books out, make some notes. Classes in session. A man as ambitious and competitive, because you got to take down notes because this is very important stuff. A man as ambitious and competitive as Joseph Devine left nothing to chance. What's the point of winging it? Of just hoping you may be able to charm this or that client? It's like shooting ducks blindfolded. Arm yourself with a little knowledge and your aim improves. Makes sense? Makes sense. Mellon was the most spectacular of Devine's catches, but he spied on many a millionaire. By secretly putting members of his clients' household staffs on his own payroll, he would gain constant access to valuable information about their master's comings and goings, changes in taste, and other such tidbits of information that would put him a step ahead. A rival of Devine's who wanted to make Henry Frick a client noticed that whenever he visited this wealthy New Yorker, Devine was there before him, as if he had a sixth sense. To other dealers, Devine seemed to be everywhere and he knew everything before they did. His powers discouraged and disheartened them. That plays into the concept of reputation because Devine, all these other dealers are seeing that Devine's over here and he's always around this guy, he's always around that guy, he's always around the wealthy guys that they want to make deals with. And that's going to discourage the other people from even making the deal because they see Devine there and then they turn around, and they leave because of the fact that he seems so powerful and all-knowing, but in reality, it's his spying, his inept spying, that enables him to have such an advantage. That plays into reputation. That's another law as well, which is pretty important to read. His powers discouraged and disheartened them until many simply gave up going after the wealthy clients who could make a dealer rich. See what I'm talking about? They were discouraged just by his mere presence, which plays into reputation. Such is the power of artful spying. It makes you seem all-powerful, clairvoyant. Your knowledge of your mark can also make you seem charming. So well can you anticipate his desires. No one sees the source of your power, and what they cannot see, they cannot fight. Rulers see through spies as cows through smell, Brahmins through scriptures, and the rest of the people through their normal eyes. Kautilya, Indian philosopher, 3rd century BC. See? 3rd century BC. The concepts in this book, the concepts in the 48 Laws of Power, have been used since the beginning of time, guys. So don't try to tell me this book is toxic and try to tell me that, oh, we shouldn't use these principles because they will make you a bad person. No, dude. These principles have been used since the beginning of time. If you think that this book is bad, then you're naive. In the realm of power, your goal is a degree of control over future events. Part of the problem you face then is that people won't tell you all their thoughts, emotions, and plans. Controlling what they say, they often keep the most critical parts of their character hidden, their weaknesses, ulterior motives, obsessions. The result is that you cannot predict their moves and are constantly in the dark. The trick is to find a way to probe them, to find out their secrets and hidden intentions without letting them know what you are up to. So you have to do it indirectly. This is not as difficult as you might think. A friendly front will let you secretly gather information on friends and enemies alike. Let others consult the horoscope or read tarot cards. You have a more concrete means of seeing into the future through spying. Some people would say spying is an invasion of others' privacy, but let's be real here. The government spies on us every single day. You don't say that the government spies on us literally every day, right? They spy on us through the phone, they spy on us through this. So I mean, to say that is just a bit more, even it's stupid and naive. The most common way of spying is to use other people, as Duveen did. The method is simple, powerful, but risky. You will certainly gather information, but you have little control over the people who are doing the work. Perhaps they will ineptly reveal your spying or even secretly turn against you. That's basically one of the drawbacks of using this law. Like, if you use other people for spying, perhaps they'll reveal the spying. Perhaps they'll give you fake information. Perhaps they'll do this. Perhaps they'll do that. So you don't really have too much control over what they do. It is far better to be the spy yourself, to pose as a friend while secretly gathering information. The French politician Talleyrand was one of the greatest practitioners of this art. He had an uncanny ability to worm secrets out of people in polite conversation. A contemporary of his, Baron de Vitrolles, wrote, "Wit and grace marked his conversation. He possessed the art of concealing his thoughts or his malice beneath a transparent veil of insinuations, words that simply imply something more than they express. Only when necessary did he inject his own personality. The key here is Talleyrand's ability to suppress himself in the conversation, to make others talk endlessly about themselves and inadvertently reveal their intentions and plans." I've done that a lot. I do that a lot. Like, when I'm talking to someone, I don't actually reveal too much about myself. But you can also, there's the kicker. It's coming in the next page. This chapter is like the best chapter ever. Like, I really fucking love this book. I don't love the whole book. I love this chapter. It's really good. Through Talleyrand's life, people said he was a superb conversationalist, yet he actually said very little. He never talked about his own ideas. He got others to reveal theirs. He would organize friendly games of charades for foreign diplomats, social gatherings, where, however, he would carefully weigh their words, cajole confidences out of them, and gather information invaluable to his work as France's foreign minister. At the Congress of Vienna, he did his spying in other ways. He would blurt out what seemed to be a secret, actually something he had made up, then watch his listeners' reactions. He might tell a gathering of diplomats, for instance, that a reliable source had revealed to him that the Tsar of Russia was planning to arrest his top general for treason. By watching the diplomats' reaction to this made-up story, he would know which ones were most excited by the weakening of the Russian army. So basically gauging their reaction to some type of information that could be against them or for them. So you'll be able to basically figure out where their alliances lie and their intentions. Perhaps the governments had designs on Russia. As Baron von Setten said, Monsieur Talleyrand fires a pistol into the air to see who will jump out the window. If you have a reason to suspect, this is like a little short tale on the side of the book. If you have reason to suspect that a person is telling you a lie, look as though you believed every word he said. This will give him courage to go on. He will become more vehement in his assertions and in the end betray himself. Again, if you perceive that a person is trying to conceal something from you, but with only partial success, look as though you did not believe him. The opposition on your part will provoke him into leading out his reserve of truth and bringing the whole force of it to bear upon your incredulity. Arthur Schopenhauer, 1788 to 1860. Didn't live that long, did he? 60 plus 12. 72. Yeah. During social gatherings and in innocuous encounters, pay attention. This is when people's guards are down. By suppressing your own personality, you can make them reveal things. The brilliance of the maneuver is that they will mistake your interest in them for friendship, so that you not only learn, you make allies. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Nevertheless, you should practice this tactic with caution and care. This is the one I was talking about. If people begin to suspect you are worming secrets out of them under the cover of conversation, they will strictly avoid you, which is not good for you because you'll be isolated from information, which is not something that you want. Emphasize friendly chatter, not valuable information. Your search for gems of information cannot be too obvious, or your probing questions will reveal more about yourself and your intentions than about the information you hope to find. A trick to try in spying comes from La Rochefoucauld, who wrote, "Sincerity is found in very few men and is often the cleverest of ruses. One is sincere in order to draw out the confidence and secrets of the other. By pretending to bare your heart to another person, in other words, you make them more likely to reveal their own secrets. Give them a false confession, and they will give you a real one." So you basically lie to them. You even cry if you have to. I don't know, cry, make up bullshit stories that seem believable. Say this happened to you when you were younger, and oh my god, this happened. This happened. Like, try to make it seem like you're confessing something that comes from the depths of your soul, right? But it's a lie. It's not the truth. And then what will happen is, by pretending to bare your heart to another person, in other words, you make them more likely to reveal their own secrets. Give them a false confession, and they will give you a real one. Another trick was identified by the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer, who suggested vehemently contradicting people you are in conversation with as a way of irritating them, stirring them up so that they lose some of the control over their words. In their emotional reaction, they will reveal all kinds of truths about themselves, truths you can later use against them. Another method of indirect spying is to test people, to lay little traps that make them reveal things about themselves. Khosrow II, a notoriously clever 7th century king of the Persians, had many ways of seeing through his subjects without raising suspicion. If he noticed, for instance, that 2 of his courtiers had become particularly friendly, he would call one of them aside and say, "Hey, what's up, man? I have information that this other guy that you're talking to is a fucking traitor," and would soon be killed. The king would tell the courtier he trusted him more than anyone and that he must keep this information secret. Then he would watch the 2 men carefully. If he saw that the second courtier had not changed in his behavior towards the king, he would conclude that the first courtier had kept the secret, and he would quickly promote the man, later taking him aside to confess. "I meant to kill your friend because of certain information that had reached me, but when I investigated the matter, I found it was untrue." If, on the other hand, the second courtier started to avoid the king, acting aloof and tense, Khosrow would know that the secret had been revealed. He would ban the second courtier from his court, letting him know that the whole business had only been a test, but that even though the man had done nothing wrong, he could no longer trust him. The first courtier, however, had revealed a secret, and him Khosrow would ban from his entire kingdom, because his character shows that he cannot be trusted with any secrets. Can't be trusted with any secrets. That's what his character. He's basically a liar. You know, it seems hypocritical, but it's, well, yeah, hypocrisy is human nature. Everybody's a hypocrite. It may seem an odd form of spying that reveals not empirical information but a person's character. Often, however, it is the best way of solving problems before they arise. By tempting people into certain acts, you learn about their loyalty, their honesty, and so on. And this kind of knowledge is often the most valuable of all. Armed with it, you can predict their actions in the future. You can even test your girlfriend to see if she's loyal or not by checking to see if she's going to go for certain types of guys that you dangle in front of her, like a carrot in front of a horse. The third eye of the spy. In the land of the 2-eyed, the third eye gives you the omniscience of a god. You see further than others and you see deeper into them. Nobody is safe from the eye but you. Now, the reason a brilliant sovereign and a wise general conquer the enemy whenever they move, and their achievements surpass those of ordinary men, is their foreknowledge of the enemy's situation. This foreknowledge cannot be elicited from spirits, nor from gods, nor by analogy with past events, nor by astrologic calculations. It must be obtained from men who know the enemy's situation, from spies. Why do you think armies have scouts and all this stuff? Like, information is very important. Reversal. Information is critical to power, but just as you spy on other people, You must be prepared for them to spy on you. One of the most potent weapons in the battle for information, then, is giving out false information. As Winston Churchill said, truth is so precious that she should always be attended by a bodyguard of lies. You must surround yourself with such a bodyguard so that your truth cannot be penetrated. By planting the information of your choice, you control the game. In 1944, the Nazis' rocket bomb attacks on London suddenly escalated. Over 2,000 V-1 flying bombs fell on the city, killing more than 5,000 people and wounding many more. Somehow, however, the Germans consistently missed their targets. Bombs that were intended for Tower Bridge or Piccadilly would fall well short of their city, landing in the less populated suburbs. This was because, in fixing their targets, the Germans relied on secret agents they had planted in England. They did not know that these agents had been discovered, and that in their place English-controlled agents were feeding them subtly deceptive information. The bombs would hit farther and farther from their targets every time they fell. By the end of the campaign, they were landing on cows in the country. By feeding people wrong information, then, you gain a potent advantage. While spying gives you a third eye, this information puts out one of your enemy's eyes. A Cyclops. He always misses his target.